Kids love to count. They count pretty much everything from how many seconds they can stand on one foot to how many classmates are in their classroom on a given day. Counting helps children make sense of the world and is a way for them to figure out how much or how many there are of something. With time, practice, and some patience, they begin to develop an understanding of the rules or principles of counting. One skill in particular is called one-to-one correspondence, which conveys the idea that a number corresponds to a specific quantity, such as when they roll a die for a game and then move that number of spaces on a board because 5 dots on the die corresponds to the quantity of 5 jumps in the game. We get really excited when a young child touches an object in time and says the counting words. Take these bottles of water, for instance. I know that there are 5 of them, okay, but I did that mental math in my head. I have one-to-one correspondence, and I have that skill mastered. But what children do is they will develop this skill, and eventually they'll be able to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And being able to count and assign a specific number to a specific quantity is huge. One way that we can help students understand this concept is by using a resource called a tens frame, or a fives frame for some. Now, for many of you who teach pre-K and kindergarten, this is nothing new. You've been using these forever. However, in today's episode of Tech This Out, I wanted to share 3 online tools to help your students understand and solidify this concept of one-to-one correspondence through an active and interactive online atmosphere. So let's go ahead and tech this out. All right, so like I said, we are going to be checking out 3 websites. The first website is going to be coolmathforkids.com. I'm going to link these in the description below. I'll also put it on the screen right now, so you can click right on the screen and access this resource, but you can also check it out there, or you can check it out on TheEdge website, which I'll also link in the description. So coolmathforkids.com/manipulatives/10frame allows you to access this Canvas style page where students are able to manipulate these little monsters that are up top of the screen. They can change the characters, they can change the colors, they can create their own math problems. They can do a lot of things and create these manipulatives to go along with them. So first of all, the other cool thing is that I can create multiple different frames. So I can create a 5s frame, a 10s frame, a 20 frame, and a 100 frame, or a frame of my own. So if students are really trying to understand this one-to-one correspondence, or even later on when they start working with like multiplication and they're looking at multiple groups or multiple lots of the same amount of number, this is a great resource that they can continue to come back to. So if I go ahead and insert this tens frame, what this does is allow me to just drag these monsters on. So if I'm counting objects, I can grab 1s, I can grab 5 at a time, I can even grab 10 at a time. And what it does is allow students to see that each space represents 1, they're counting as 1, and then they have that one-to-one correspondence where when they count, it represents a quantity. And that helps really hone in that idea and concept of one-to-one correspondence. You can start over, it clears out the page, you can change the color, you can end up rotating the selected frame. You even have the option to put words or text on the screen. So say that you have 1 plus 2 equals, and they're trying to figure out what 1 plus 2 equal. So if I grab my tens frame, I know I can grab 1, and then if I grab 2, okay, I know I have 3 in total. So my answer here becomes 3. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. It's a way for them to work out their problems and look at this in a visual way. So it's a great side resource to accompany your lesson. It's not going to replace the lesson, but it will definitely help bring those concepts to life. But in a digital way. So for your remote learners who might not have objects maybe that they could count, this is a great online resources that they can use. The next one that's up is actually from the National Council for Teachers of Mathematics. .org, so NCTM.org, and you can find this in Illuminations. Illuminations is really, really cool because it gives a bunch of interactive tools, and this is the Ten Frame tool. And what I really like about this is it actually will not only give them questions about how many there are, they have to build it, also gives them
how many circles are there,
the audio version of it. So I can grab
how many
ladybugs.
Squares are empty.
Okay, and I can count how many things are and then enter in my answer. So we can build.
Move 1 bugs to the frame.
There we go. So if I drag 1 bug over, I can select done, and it tells me how well I did.
Bugs to the frame.
10 over is what it's asking, so done.
Move 9.
And there it gives me how many I played. Fill.
How many more bugs to fill the frame?
How many more bugs? So these are really starting to stretch how students are understanding this one-to-one correspondence. So we're getting to higher depths of knowledge, manipulating this concept of one-to-one correspondence and counting, and reversing some of these concepts to figure out how many's left. We can do addition. We can do a mix of all of them, and it's going to give you a bunch of different questions.
Bugs to fill the frame.
All right, so this is a great resource to check out. Again, this is the 10 frame for Illumination. So some of you in pre-K, first grade, second grade, kindergarten, that whole span, you could probably get something out of this. So Illuminations by NCTM, really, really cool resource to use with your students to test their ability to use one-to-one correspondence when counting. The last one is actually one that my son brought to me because he did this summer Tang Math challenge the other day. And GregTangMath.com is a fantastic resource. And this one is actually pretty fun. So it builds upon your prior knowledge. So it starts off pretty easy and starts making its way up through and making it a little bit more challenging. So if I go ahead, I can either learn or play. I'm going to go jump into play. I'm going to start off on easy, and then you upgrade to these various levels. So if I go to level 1 and press start, it's going to show a number, and I have to count that number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that number disappears. The next one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm using this 10 frame to count to this number. So it's a little bit reverse. Instead of having the objects to count, we are counting, or we're using objects to represent what is on the screen that is passing by. And let me just back out and show you maybe another level here. So start. Now I have 5s and 10s. And if I need to get to 15, or I need to get to 13, I have 10, and then 1, 2, 3. So we extend this beyond just working on 5 frame or 10 frame. We even go a little bit further. So if I do 10 and then 2, that gives me the 12. If I do 10 and 3, and then 10, and 5. Okay, and then you just keep going, and you can work your way up these various levels. So it really structures it in a way that you are building upon that prior knowledge of one-to-one correspondence and taking it to the next level. And that's what I really like about rounding out these 3 little tools. So again, the first one was 10 frames by Cool Math for Kids. Great supplement to a lesson that can help students just as a online manipulative. The 10 frame from NCTM gives them really good questions and solid questions that staggers it from how many there are to building up to a number to adding numbers together using the 10 frame. And then lastly, the Greg Tang Math, I think, really rounds out this whole idea by allowing you to really get into one-to-one correspondence and maximize the amount of learning that you can do. So this has been Tech This Out. I am Josh from TheEdge. Thanks for watching. And this has been 10 Frames. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.